Michelle, how are you doing?
What is up, Nate? Extra, extra.
Extra, extra. I appreciate the drop. How you been? You look great. You glowing right now.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I've been getting in shape, for my next flick.
Okay, so speaking of getting in shape, is there a certain pressure or standard that you hold yourself to when you're working with so many talented, fit people in a series like Fast and the Furious?
And when I do a fast movie, it's more like being around family. So like I don't really, there's no and there's nobody to compete with because they're all guys, and like all the girls, I'm always like, I win if they win. So there's no competition really.
Mm.
I actually get kind of lazy. Creatively is where I push the limits and the envelopes. I always try to, make sure that we're pushing as far as we can go with the writing and with the action sequences. So like that's where I actually like put in the work. That's
That's
where the
awesome. Now,
the
speaking
sweat
of,
goes.
yeah, of course, of course. Speaking of creative, the trailer, it's thought provoking. It gets you excited, but you also have a ton of questions afterwards. When you first saw the trailer, what was the first thing that popped in your head?
I'm like, how are we gonna top this in another one? I just like every single time that's the same thing that happens when I watch a trailer. I'm like, how are we gonna top this in the next one? Like, I know that they've only, pretty much stated that they want to do 10 in two parts, and that'll be like the end of, the saga. We don't know if it's gonna go off into spin-offs or if it's gonna be passed on to another generation, but that's the deed. I'm worried about these next two movies. Like, how the hell do you top what's been done? It's
That's
almost like
wild.
every single time they drop the mic and they're like, "Yeah, top that." And I'm like, "Dude, really? Come on, guys. This is too much."
And as a fan, we're thinking the exact same thing. But what's crazy is it's almost like we know that you guys are going to top it. Like it's just
I
it's automatic. Now,
love the vote of confidence, man, but I'm worried.
Dom,
After this one, I'm like,
oh,
this
you
is
ain't lying. Now Dom is now married, wife and kid. How does that change his character moving
mm.
forward?
You know what? In this one, it's very evident, because there's a call to arms in the beginning. And, with this newfound responsibility of taking care of a little one, there's that question of like, that's the old life. Do we face this situation or do we, hide like we have been?
Mm,
And in the name of a child, you'd do anything, you know what I mean? And so you can understand how someone like Dom would give up the old life in the name of the new legacy.
mm,
But at the same time, it's like, is that who we are? And so that's the
mm.
kind of question posed is like, are we hiders or are we face your,
Fighters.
yeah, exactly.
I
So,
like that. Are you a hider or a fighter? I might tweet
yeah,
that a little bit.
yeah, man.
Michelle Rodriguez. That's a
We
quote
get
for
it,
you.
get it, get
You out here spitting bars, girl.
it.
All right. So Dom's brother Jacob. He's not the friendliest brother-in-law in the world. How is that dynamic in the storyline?
Yeah, I mean, this is interesting because, there's only a couple of reasons that you could possibly ever have for excommunicating somebody that way.
Mm,
You've never seen this character in any of the franchise features, so there must be a reason for that. And I think in this movie, you get that reason. And, I mean, obviously, for somebody to be excommunicated like that, everybody's got their own version of what that would be for that individual. But I think that for a Toretto, it's got to be big, whatever
yeah.
that is. So
No
whatever
doubt.
homie did to get excommunicated, it must have been like huge because that's blood right there. You
That's some
don't, you
heavy
don't,
stuff.
yeah, you don't cut out blood from your life for no reason.
That's a fact. Speaking of blood, I was raised in a household with three other brothers, so four boys. Drove my mom crazy, drove my dad crazy. I'm familiar with sibling rivalry. We love each other now. We're all grown. But can you relate to sibling rivalries growing?
Absolutely. I mean, when my brothers turned into semi-men, which is like 17 to 18, when you get the deep voice and the hits, they hurt a lot harder. It's like kill material, like
Testosterone and
the
hormones
testos.
raging. They're
I
little
mean,
animals.
the fights that my brothers would have, I mean, they would
Epic.
shake the whole house, and, like, all the women in the house couldn't do jack. Like, I'm too small, I'm, like, 12, 13 years old, so, like, my scrawny little skinny butt isn't gonna do anything to stop these beasts from breaking everything in the living room, and just, like and those fights are just, like it almost feels like you think these guys are gonna kill each other
Yeah,
because 'cause they're grown-ass boys. They're,
yeah,
like, 17, 18, that's the muscles are in. They're, like, full-grown humans. And
yeah.
so grandma's not gonna do anything, mom's not gonna be able to stop that force, and the little, tiny sister isn't gonna be able to do anything. It's scary, man. Watching 2 men throw down in a house is no joke.
That's
So
a
let's
fact.
say I've had my taste, so I'm ready for the Fast and Furious crew, like, having the boys around and all that testosterone was nothing new for me.
Yeah, you've seen it in real life. This
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so every Fast and the Furious movie, it's its own like baby. You know what I mean? It's its own
Mhm.
life force, its own entity. What do you want people to take away from this particular one?
Wow. Hmm. Live your truth.
Amen to that.
Yeah. I
Amen to
think
that.
that that's the takeaway.
That's good, and that's all I need. That's my time, Michelle. You're awesome. You're the coolest on the planet. One of the
Oh,
best in the
thank you.
business.
Equally
You've been
so.
kicking ass for a long time, and I think
Mm.
you should get a pat on the back more often for it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If you want more extra, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you'll never miss a video.